The horror came to light through a seemingly mundane meal when a diner at a local barbecue stall bit into a tough, rubbery object that turned out to be a piece of a leather belt. Despite the shopkeeper's insistence that it was a specialty ostrich stomach, the pungent smell of waste and the undeniable texture of the leather prompted the customer to call the police. When authorities traced the meat back to a supplier named Zhang Yongming, they uncovered a scene of unimaginable depravity. Inside Zhang's property, they found plastic buckets filled with human flesh, preserved in brine, over 40 human eyeballs soaking in wine jars, and more than 10 human skins hanging neatly in his kitchen like cured meat. When questioned, Zhang showed no remorse, coldly telling investigators to count the piles of clothes in his home to see how many people he had dealt with. The investigation revealed that Zhang had been a violent predator for decades. Born in 1956 to an abusive family in Yunnan village, he grew up isolated and shunned. His first brush with the law occurred at age 18, when he attempted to butcher a sleeping friend with a cleaver. He escaped serious punishment by claiming he suffered from sleepwalking and served only 6 months in a reform center. In 1978, he was arrested again for the murder of a colleague and was sentenced to death. But after multiple sentence reductions for good behavior, he was released after 19 years. He returned to his village where he began a systematic killing spree starting around 2005, targeting strong, handsome young men who were initially thought by local police to have been kidnapped for forced labor. Between 2005 and 2012, Zhang murdered at least 20 young men, processing their remains in a freezer he purchased with government land compensation money. He became a familiar face at local markets, where he sold human flesh labeled as ostrich meat for 30 yuan per kilo. His stall was popular because customers found the meat surprisingly tender and juicy. When police asked why he sold the remains to the public, Zhang chillingly replied that he wasn't doing it for the money, but because he wanted to share something good with everyone. Zhang Yongming was finally executed in January 2013, leaving behind a legacy of trauma that left the residents of Yunnan afraid to buy meat for years, a tragedy that many believe could have been prevented had his early crimes been met with stricter justice.